Hi everyone, thanks for coming out tonight. So we are the token husband and wife couple this class, and we wanted to introduce to you Heno. So my name's Katie Holman, like Dale said. I'm a physical therapist and have been for 10 years. I'm a UCF grad. We also own 2 practices in Central Florida, and that's kind of how we got started with this whole Heno revelation. So when I became a practice owner, I pretty much left the corporate, I guess you could say, physical therapy arena to be able to really make a difference in patients' lives and not have to run through, jump through all the hoops that the companies that I worked for, the bigger companies that I worked for, put you through. And I wanted to be able to care for patients in a way I wanted to, and I thought that they deserved to be treated and to be able to get better faster and not have to think about the different crazy stipulations that insurance put on it. So that was great in the beginning. As we got busier and busier and busier, we had to add in different programs, different employees, and we ended up with 4 or 5 different programs that didn't interconnect with each other, made it confusing for new employees in trying to train them and figure out, what's your login and password for this one, and then how about this one, and then how do they tie into each other? It got to be crazy. We didn't know, probably for the first 6 months, we really didn't know if we made or lost money, and that was, looking back, seems totally ridiculous. So, kind of looking around at the different struggles we had was definitely a problem with one clinic. When I opened my second clinic, I couldn't be in 2 places at once, and I had no idea what was necessarily going on at one when I was at the other. So I started taking a really good hard look at all of our different programs that we use, and it ended up costing, when I calculated it all out, almost $500 a month per provider. So keep in mind, when I started adding on therapists in my clinics, getting up to 4 and 5 therapists, I'm paying almost $3,000 a month just for the software and the different things that go on here, not for caring for patients, not for salaries, not for anything else. And so that was a huge kind of revelation for me. We had a lot of different issues as far as little things that we wanted to correct, and this is a big example of one of them. So this is our productivity log. So once we did start tracking whether we were making money or not, our receptionist would spend an hour at the end of every day tallying different patients and what their insurance payers were, kind of giving her a rough estimate of what a PPO would pay versus an HMO versus Medicare, how many hours our employees worked. And you could see this screen. It's crazy. It took her an hour to complete. I'd bring it home. Jeff would then spend another 15 or 20 minutes adding in salaries and all of the overhead it costs, and then we'd finally figure out what we made or lost that day. So it was terribly inefficient, and I racking my brain for weeks, months, trying to figure out how can we make this easier. And so I roll over in bed and I go, well, shit, he's a software engineer. Why didn't I think of this?
And I just hope I was the guy in the bed that night. You never know anymore these days. So anyway, my name's Jeff. I got through high school, went into the Air Force, then I went to work for Oracle, where I've been for almost 17 and a half years. And then Katie starts talking to me about, hey, we need to do something here. We need to make this stuff better. So I was like, all right. So I quit my job, and we started working on Heno. So what Heno does is I get off of my tech stuff here, but it basically takes, run into the fax machine, log into Salesforce, all the stupid, ridiculous stuff we used to do in it, and the goal is to bring it into one web browser that runs on any platform. So it's just easy. So like Katie said, they can focus on patients and not all this stupid stuff that I enjoy messing around with. So here's one such example that we corrected with Heno. The crazy example like Katie showed before used to take an hour. Now it just shows up on our phones. So at 7:45 every night, I can look at my phone. I can see if we made money or not made money. If we're out to dinner, I might not want to look at it if it was a slow day, but it's there and it really helps us run our business. Market size. We did validate this through Starter Studio, and we kind of knew that our industry was suffering as well. But through the customer interview process, we validated it. And the market size for therapists that are going to be needing this, the growth trend is huge. Physical therapists are set to grow by 34% between 2014 and 2024. Occupational therapy is set to grow by 30% and speech pathology 28%. As we continue to perfect Heno, its technology is generic to the medical community with the exception of the medical record piece specific to physical therapy. So we'll then start looking at other markets such as chiropractic and then go from there.
So our business model is a monthly subscription per therapist. So if you think back to that last slide, I was telling you per therapist, it was almost $500 a month. So here it is, $150 a month per therapist. We have an onboarding fee. Mainly that is based on how much data we're transferring from your previous system into Heno. Then we have 2 add-on packages. So we have the marketing component, and then we have the point of sale component, and then any excess faxing and storage. Our competition, I think when a lot of people think about medical practice management software, they think there's got to be a ton of those out there. And there are, but they don't do everything. Most of them do comprise of an EMR. If you look at this graph, most of them have the EMR component. And a lot of them do have the faxing, and you're sending records back and forth, and they can all do all of that. But as far as pretty much anything else goes, they don't have it. They're lacking. The market strategy. So over the 10 years of being a physical therapist and having our own practice, we've have tons of contacts of other physical therapists, occupational therapists, and speech therapists that we've known through conferences all over the country. So we have a lot of connections that way. We also want to offer Heno to college programs for training and getting their students ready to go out into the workforce so they know how to use the latest and best technology as far as EMR and billing and all the stuff they're going to have to do aside from treating patients. We also are attending, we always attend conference regularly, but we're going to be attending all of the professional conferences. There's a big one coming up in February that we're going to attend in San Antonio for physical therapy. And then word of mouth. Word of mouth has been huge traction for us so far. Like Jeff said, going through the customer interviews and talking about not necessarily what we were going to do at all, but it was more talking about getting their feedback on systems they were using. Everyone was kind of like, well, wait a second, I want to know what you guys are planning. What are you doing? And so that's kind of really helped us a lot in the past couple months. So the traction, in the last 6 weeks, I've done 9 demos with practice owners. All 9 of those people verbally tell me they want it either that day or the next day. I mean, it's quick. And we already have 8 contracts signed. So we have people, thank you. So we have people lining up to get on this program. If he would work a little faster, we could get this rolling out quicker. But with 8 contracts signed, that's 25 physical and occupational therapists, so that already gives us almost $50,000 starting towards next year. So that's pretty awesome. Our timeline, so Starter Studio began in August. Our first beta tester was due to start this week, and we're actually ahead of schedule. He started about 2 weeks ago. Our second beta tester is supposed to start in December, and he's starting tomorrow. And then our first paying customers are starting pretty much the 1st of January. And then by the end of 2017, we project to have at least 100 users, which I'm hoping it's going to be way more than that. So what do we need from you guys tonight? So we would love for everybody to get on their phones, go home, go on their computer, and go to heno.io, learn more about us, sign up for, to get updates and stuff. If anyone out here is an Oracle Apex developer, if you don't know what that is not you. Like us on social media. If you have any therapy friends, even if they're not owners, if they're, in the profession, tell them about us. We'd be happy to talk to them. Thank you guys. Have a great night.